Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the Idogear combat pants. These are the ones that have the knee pads in them, and I think these are the Gen 3s. They did have, I don't know if it was a Gen 4 or if they relabeled things, but they did have ones that are newer that I saw, but now for some reason I can't find them, at least on Amazon. But they were a little bit different than these in that the stretchy material was actually the camo pattern as well, not just a solid color. I don't have any experience with those, but I do have experience with these, which are the generations just before those. And right now these are shown as Gen 3s on Amazon, so I believe the other ones were Gen 4s, but again, I can't find them anywhere, so I assume they would be similar quality, but again, I just have these, so you'll just have to take my word for it on those, and if you want to try out the newer ones, that's fine, but from what I could see, they look just like these. These are obviously a knockoff of the Cry Precision pants. And now those pants are about around $250, $300, somewhere in that range. These are significantly cheaper, and they are run around $75 right now, or 75. I think it was $70 on Amazon, and then with some shipping and taxes. So whatever the tax is for your state, add that onto it. But for about $70, you can get a pair of these. And I've compared it to a few other different tactical pants that I've had over the years. I've worn 511 pants. I wear those for work. I've worn True Spec, which I'll show you a little comparison here in a minute. And so far with these, I've been really impressed. Again, they're $75 for a budget pair of pants. That's a little expensive, but you get a good amount of, I guess, features with these pants over some of the other ones. And again, I'll kind of go over those here in a second. This belt, for those wondering, is a True Spec belt. It's just, I don't remember what it's called, but it was like $10, and it works fine. It came with a small little pouch here for keys, which I immediately cut off because it made it substantially thicker, and it made strapping the war belt around it with keepers a little bit difficult. It just kind of got in the way, so I just cut it off. But anyways, so if you're wondering, that's True Spec belt. Short review of that. It's okay, but it's not the best belt on the planet. It kind of comes loose over time. But so back to these pants. The main reason I wanted to try these is because they have knee pads built into them. And if you've ever done any sort of rifle or pistol or any sort of training where you've been shooting from the knee or from prone, or you have to get down behind cover or anything like that, you absolutely want knee pads, or you're going to shred your knees, especially if you're on gravel, concrete, anything like that. There are companies that make inserts, little pockets. I know 511s, the ones I wear for work, have little inserts on the inside of the pant leg where you can put like a little neoprene pad that's probably, I don't know, about a quarter of an inch thick, and it goes behind there. And they work pretty well for light stuff. If you're just kneeling down on concrete and things like that, that's fine. But if you have to kneel down on rocks and stuff, you're still going to feel them through those. So these are a significant improvement over those. But they're lighter weight than, say, something like Military Surplus, or I think Black Hawk makes some knee and elbow pads. They're pretty thick, and I'll again show you an example of something like that here in a second as well. But for the price, for $75, these are well worth the money. I absolutely love these pants. I own a pair. One of my friends owns a similar pair, and I'll get to that in a minute. It's another company, but I think the same company probably makes these pants, and then each other companies slaps their name on it. But I think they're all probably made by the same manufacturers, because my pants and my buddy's pants are labeled as two different manufacturers, but they're nearly identical, other than camo patterns. And I'll go over that as well. And also, one of my other guys I work with, he just ordered a pair of these pants, and he's very impressed with them as well. He's pretty hard to please, so that's kind of saying something. These specifically come in a couple different camo patterns. They come in multicam, they come in multicam black. I've seen them in other camo patterns before, but right now on Amazon I'm not finding any unless you click on older generations, which don't have the knee pads and they don't have the stretchy material. These, I will say now, go ahead and order a size above what you normally would buy. I'm a waist size 30-ish, 32, somewhere in that range. It depends on pant size. If I want something really snug, I can wear a 28. I'm a skinny dude. But normally I wear a size 30 in just about everything. With these are actually a 32. The lengthwise are actually a little shorter than I would like, but they don't make a longer length than 32 that's in 32 waist. So, but I will say the waist on these, if you can see here, the waist on here, it has Velcro, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I would rather have some sort of snap or button or something like that just for longevity, because Velcro is going to wear out over time. but it just has a standard zipper right there. These are YKK zippers for those of you who are wondering, and it has YKK zippers throughout. There are some smaller ones on the back here as well for your back pockets, and I'll go over all the pockets here in a minute. But I am, like I said, quite impressed with these pants. The waist, like I said, runs small. Order a size above what you would normally wear. These are 32, and they fit, unless you just want something being snug. These fit kind of snug. They're not too tight, but you don't need a belt to wear these pants, and they're not going to sag on you. So if you like looser, order size up. If you want it just snug against your waist where you don't need a belt, then order the size that you would normally order. But to give you reference, I wear waist size 28 on 5'11 pants, and they are snug. These 32 size waist are also about the same snugness, so if that gives you a reference. Some of the pros for these pants, obviously they're significantly cheaper than what they're modeled after, the Cry Precision pants, so that's a plus. They're only $70 compared to $250, so you're saving roughly $200. They are extremely lightweight. The material on these is ripstop nylon, which is nice. I don't know if you can tell on there or not, but you can see there's grid pattern going both directions. So that's nice. It is actual woodland camo, so it's not some knockoff. That's also nice. The knee pads on here, to me, are the biggest selling point, along with the stretchy material in certain areas. The knee pads are removable. They are Velcroed in place. They're a pain in the butt to pull in and out, so whenever you wash them, you're going to pull them in and out, so that's pain. That's why these things are dirty right now. I wear them a lot. If you can tell, they're filthy. Sorry. But these knee pads are really nice, and I'll show you the competition here. What I used to wear was, and again, I don't wear these things a lot because they're massive, is these old military surplus knee pads. These things are great if you're to have to go in prone and down to your knees and for a whole bunch of times throughout the day. These are going to be significantly softer. They have a decent amount of padding. I actually use these whenever I go underneath the house to do repairs because they work really well for that. But these things are giant. They're bulky. I'm not the biggest fan of them. They work, but the way that they strap around, they go around your leg in this little clasp on that button, and these straps will just absolutely dig into the back of your knee, and it's super obnoxious. So they're great for the front part of your knee, but then they rub the back of your knee raw. So negatives to those things. Plus, these things weigh a ton compared to what comes on those pants. So the nice thing about these pants, again, is the fact that these things are built in. These knee pads are extremely lightweight. They don't weigh a whole lot more than just a neoprene inserts that you would wear for, say, 5'11 pants. And I absolutely love that. The knee pads are, in my opinion, in the exact perfect spot, at least for my legs. They do come, if you go through this pocket right here, if you can see, there's a little bungee spot right here. Mine, for some reason, did not have the bungee cord that actually attaches to a loop on the inside of this pant leg that allows you to actually tie the pant leg up higher into a permanent position. So if you have shorter legs and your knees are actually up here and it's too low, you can actually use that drawstring and attach them up here and bring up the leg to where it matches up to your knee. So that is extremely nice. I got long legs. These things fit perfect. So the fact that they didn't come with the string, I just got lucky and they fit me and I didn't need it. But if you have paracord or some sort of bungee cord, you could easily attach it if for some reason yours doesn't come with that. And I could send them back to Amazon. They would ship me a new pair, not a big deal. But since I don't need them, why I had the extra weight. So that's extremely nice. The other thing is this stretchy material right here it's not the most elastic thing on the planet, but it gives you just enough stretch to whenever you're bending over, you're going in awkward, funky positions, your pants don't ride up or pull down. They don't rip, which is nice. You can see they have it on the crotch area right here, which is nice. They have it above the knees, and they also have it on the back right here, right at the lower back. So that gives you, whenever you're bending over to pick up stuff or whatever, it gives you a little bit of stretchy, a little bit of give, and it also helps air out a little bit better, which is also the nice thing about these things being so lightweight is during the summer, I don't sweat nearly as bad when I'm wearing these things. Whenever I wear something like True Spec or even 511 or a little bit thicker than these things, I'll sweat a little bit more. But compared to, which I'll just show you that now, these are an older pair of True Spec that I've had for years, and you can see, well, they're not terribly faded compared to these other ones, but they're a little more faded than they used to be. As you can see, the True Spec ones come with a little snap, and I like that better because to me, it just is a little bit more secure, and it's not going to wear out like the Velcro would. But these things are a thicker material, and they are significantly heavier than those pants. With the knee pads inserted, those are still lighter than this is. Now, if you're going in cold weather or something, you might want something a little bit thicker than these, because these are not warm at all. But again, if you're going for something lighter weight, these Idogear pants are nicer than, say, True Spec or 511 in that aspect. The pockets on here are all over the place. You got pockets down here on the bottom of your pant leg. You can put stuff in there. You got pockets up here above your knee, which also doubles as an area where you can pull up the knee pads. You got pockets on the side that are big enough for AR mags. You got front normal pockets like with jeans. You have more pockets galore on the back that are actually zippers. So you unzip it, and for some reason they have camo on the inside, which I guess if your pocket pulls out, great, it's still camouflage. I'm not sure why they wasted money doing that, but it's nice because that's a thicker material, so you know that's not going to rip. But I've used these zippers a bunch, and I've had mud caked these zippers, and they still work just fine. So that's nice. I actually wore these pants to a 2-day pistol course, and these pants did extremely well. We were in mud and water, basically a giant water pit, pretty much both days because it rained both days. And these things were just absolutely covered in mud, and not a problem. One thing I will say is these zippers could be a little bit smoother. Whenever they weren't muddy, I mean, they zip pretty well. They are YKK zippers, but whenever they're dirty, even after a couple washes, they still took a little bit to get back to working like normal. So that is what it is. They do have, on the bottoms, they do have Velcro. So if you're one of those that you like your pants being real tight on the bottom so you don't get bugs or whatever, or you tuck them into your boots, or for whatever reason you want to make them smaller at the bottom, you can. I like mine being looser so they breathe a little bit better. So that's nice. It gives you options. They also have a tiny little pocket here if you want to put a small little pin, or you have a small flashlight, or if you have a pocket knife that'll fit in there. They got that. Another nice thing about these, other than the fact that they got the stretch areas and all that other stuff, they are extremely comfortable knee pads. And like I said, with those are comfortable, but these don't get in the way at all. Whenever you're walking around or you're driving a vehicle or whatever, I just wear these whenever I go to the range. And I just leave the knee pads in because I never take them out. But they're not uncomfortable like they are wearing giant knee pads like the ones I just showed you. You can't walk around in those as easily. These feel like you're just wearing normal pants, with just a little bit of weight on the front, but they don't get in your way. They're not flopping around. They don't twist to side. If you've ever worn other knee pads, you know those knee pads are going to either go up, down, left, right, whichever. These, for some reason, magic, whatever it is, they stay in place, which is awesome. Absolutely love these. You can take the knee pads out if you don't want to use them. For whatever reason, you just don't like them. You can take them out, and they have a little flap that'll Velcro in place in front of it. That's just the multicam pattern. So if you don't like the knee pads, you can take them out. You can also buy replacement pads for these things for, I want to say they're around $15, something like that. So if you wanted to have a spare set in case these get damaged or whatever, you can buy another set for about $15. The belt loops on here are nice. They're wide. This is a 2-inch belt, and it fits through there just fine. The material, as you can see, is very thin. It moves easily. The stitching on these pants, I was very impressed with. If you look on here, let's see if I can get this close enough to the camera for you to see. Let me find what I'm talking about here. Yeah, so right here is an example. I don't know if you can tell her that. There's normal stitching, and then you have up here where the stitching kind of ends, and it's very tight, very well done stitching along here. So I'm impressed with the stitching, and that's like that throughout there where it needs that extra, like on corners of pockets, say up here, right there, it has that extra stitching, which makes it a lot nicer. And so you don't have to worry about it. I haven't had any of the stitching come unraveled or anything like that. On a lot of, I don't know, cheaper materials, sometimes that stitching comes undone, which, I mean, you can just super glue it. It's not a big deal. But it's nice to see that even after a year wearing these, even with hard to use, I've worn these at least 50 or, yeah, probably around 50 different occasions for the entire day doing range stuff from rifle, pistol, whatever. And they've held up just fine. Some of the cons, I will say, is again, the Velcro fastener right here. I mean, I haven't had an issue with it whatsoever, but over time Velcro wears out, and I wish they just did a buckle or a snap. To me, it would just make me happy. Longevity wise, I think it would last a little bit better. The sizing, as I kind of discussed earlier, they run a bit small, so I just order a size above what you normally would for the waist. The length is perfect. These are 32-32s. I normally wear 32-34s, unlike say jeans, and the length on these is pretty much the exact same as my jeans. If you want them not to ride up whenever you're bending over or kneeling or whatever, order a size longer. I wish I had done that because these will come up a little bit up to, not near the top of my boots, but close to it. And I like having a little bit more coverage so you don't get, I don't know, chiggers, ticks, whatever you want at the range whenever you're kneeling down in tall grass. I like being covered so I don't get bugs all over me. But if you don't mind that, then just get your normal size. The color options on these, like I said, the Idogear specifically has multicam. They also have black multicam. But there are other companies out there that I can't tell a difference between those pants and these pants. Honestly, they're exactly the same, except for the tag has a different company's name on them. But they come in woodland. I've seen all different colors and shades and all the other different pants. And based on the one other example that I saw, it was a woodland camo. And that's one that my buddy owns. And the quality on them was literally identical. So I would say if you see another brand out there that they're a copy of these or a copy of the Carrera Precisions and they're on Amazon, they're about the same price, they're probably the exact same pair of pants just with a different name slapped on them. So I'd say they're probably good to go. But again, if you have any questions on these, I've never owned a pair of Carrera Precisions, so I can't directly compare them to that. But compared to every other pair of tactical pants, combat pants, whatever you want to call them, that's under $100, these are definitely my favorite out of all of them. And like I said, durability wise, I haven't had any problems. My favorite before that were the 511 pants, just because they were light, they dry out pretty quick. These, like I said, after they got soaked, they dried out probably within an hour, so they dry out pretty quick. They're a really thin material. But if you guys have any questions specifically about these pants, I highly suggest these if you're wanting something with knee pads. And again, if you've ever done any serious rifle work, pistol work, either during training or real life, whatever, you're going to want knee pads. And these aren't heavy enough. They aren't thick enough to get in the way. But again, if you have any questions, just write below. I try to answer all the comments that I can. And if you like this kind of content, or if you have any suggestions for videos, go ahead and comment below and go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. All right, have a good one, guys.